T.I. and Tiny in the OMG Girls won $71 million.
Look at God. Drop on the clues bomb for
Yesterday.
T.I. and Tiny.
Drop another one. $71 million is insane.
Yes.
So this was awarded to them by a jury. So if you remember, T.I. and Tiny, they had the OMG Girls, which was the group that their daughter Zanique was a part of, performance group. Now, for years, Tiny has been calling out a company called MGA Entertainment. And she was calling them out because they created these dolls, like these LOL surprise dolls that were literally like a direct ripoff of the OMG Girls. So she's been calling them out for some time, and I printed some pictures for you guys so you could see just how blatant it was. Not only did they rip off the way that they looked, they would take certain outfits that the girls wore on stage, hair colors, names, everything. So in court, a jury decided unanimously that they were the winners. They were awarding of this. Now, to break down that money, a part of it is in real damages and another part of it is in punitive damages. So you have $17,872,359 in real damages, $53,616,759 in punitive damages. So the real damages are, what is that, like direct? So that's direct money that they lost? Real damages?
Which one?
Real damages. I'll Google it. I don't know why I asked you.
The $17 million?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was in regards to the profits that the company made. I could be wrong, though. I thought I read that last night.
I'm looking it up in the meantime. So actual damages, also known as compensatory damages, are a type of monetary compensation awarded to a person who has suffered loss or injury due to another party's actions. Some examples are medical bills, lost wages, emotional distress, property damage, and other type of expenses.
Oh, so that's punitive.
That's what real damages.
That's real damages.
Real
though.
damages.
Okay,
so then the punitive damage. I love when we Google things together. I love knowing. So the punitive damages are known as legal punishment. So this is something that like a person would pay in addition to whatever another person is being compensated, like in civil court.
Either way, T.I. and Tiny getting paid, and that company got it.
Look at me trying to figure out what the breakdown of the sauce is, because Lord, if I could ever get awarded this, I would never work again probably.
You know, I love this because this happens to creators so much, and these corporations can usually get away with this because it's big bank take little bank.
Yeah.
But not in this situation. Not in this case.
Not
and
at
wasn't
all.
the first time a mistrial?
The first time I think was a mistrial.
First time was a mistrial, and I forgot what happened the second time. This is the third time, and the jury finally got it right.
Yeah, but so since that, can they appeal or no? It's done. They got that money.
I have no idea.
Well, congratulations to T.I.
Man, dropping the clues,
Tiny,
Mama T.I. I'm telling you right now,
OMG Girls and all that.
There's no doubt in my mind that T.I.'s stories going to be in the next generation's Bible.
I'm setting this up here.
The LeBron James version of the Bible that we will one day get, there's going to be a chapter full of the things T.I. has overcome. God got a different type of covering over Clifford Harris's life. You hear me? And I'm not debating with anybody who doesn't know what Goody Mob track T.I. was bumping with his partner Young Dro on Top Back. Okay, if you don't know that, then don't debate me about the covering over T.I.'s life. Okay?
$71 million.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah. Now, in other news, Meek Mill. So Meek decided yesterday that he wanted to get online and ask a few questions. And Meek uses his X account very sparingly to get information, to have conversation. For some reason yesterday, because all of the Diddy stuff that was going viral, and he was earlier on, like his name was brought up in the case and all of that, he decided to tweet, "I want to hire an investigative team, $100K cash, to find out every specific detail involving Meek Mill name to Diddy case. I also want them to look at who is powering the media involving Meek. Anything to do with Buddy. Something not right." I would have left that in the
He wants to
drafts.
find out why his name is connected to Diddy. That's what
I think it's because people are still continuing to make jokes about like Diddy, Meek, all that stuff.
Why is Meek Mill trying to spark the Meek 2 movement? Why? Nobody has your name in this, Meek. Stop listening to these digital D-heads on social media. Your name ain't in those indictments. That's all that matters. Forget what these people on social media are saying.
Not the indictment. That was the civil case from Lil Rod. Remember Rod said a rapper from Philly.
Even with that,
allegedly.
That's just nonsense. That's just noise, man. Stop letting these digital D-heads cause you to react. Because that's all that was yesterday, was a reaction.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have left that in the draft. I wouldn't even want no parts of everything that's happening with Diddy right now whatsoever. Now, moving on to some social media conversations. So Eve, we had Eve up here. She was talking about her book, Who's That Girl? Story of her life and her career. And in the book, there was a part that, a lot of people have been discussing, and she's been talking about it a lot too, where she talks about feeling very intimidated and just different feelings she had when Nicki Minaj came on the scene, because Eve was that girl, the only girl for so long. Let's take a listen.
No matter what industry you are in, if you have been at a place in your life or your career where you may have been that one, that person, that thing, and someone comes in, and of course you feel insecure, of course you feel protective, of course you feel, do I still belong here? I felt like it was important for me to write because it also talks about a time in my life where I wasn't going to those tools of drinking and doing other things to help me cope with my anxieties. I had to go to other modalities like therapy. As people will read, it all was my stuff. It has nothing to do with her. It was all these things coming from the industry, I think also had a lot to do with it, of being the one female, thinking well, how can she be here and how can I be here? Which is stupid.
The part where she said it was all my stuff and it had nothing to do with her, I was like, man, that's a word right there. But Nicki Minaj responded. It was a lengthy tweet, so I'll just read some of it. She said, "Dear Eve, the various things that you shared recently are groundbreaking, in my opinion, for so many reasons. First, thank you. The level of grace, the level of emotion and spirituality, maturity it takes to be this vulnerable and transparent is a sign of true peace, happiness, fulfillment, and a mastery of self. Self-reflection at its height. I always say that I think accountability is the sexiest trait a person can have. I was one of the kids in New York watching Rough Riders on TV. I definitely remember how when you took the game by storm, that there were some people who couldn't hide their insecurities, even though it's swept under the rug now. I remember that you handled it with grace, but also a big sprinkle of unapologetic talent and charisma. You soared and soared. Classic music with the illest team into the biggest screen and made it look too easy. Trendsetter. The Eve blonde shortcut, the Eve paw print tats on the chest. I was so nervous coming onto the movie set every single day. You look like a pro, and I admired that so much. Thank you for trying to not do to me what was done to you. Women feel so much pressure to compete, and it's a shame because we usually have so much in common and could really benefit from one another just as human beings. We all share so many of the same experiences as artists, wives, moms, ups and downs, anxiety, etc. There's more, but I think that was the gist of it. And I thought that was great to see Nicki Minaj respond with, because, Nicki gets a lot from the younger girls, from her issues with Lotto, just different people. People feel like she's doing what Eve is saying that she was trying to be conscious not to do to Nicki. So I thought that was a great self-reflecting moment. And it made me also think too, I think, and I'm probably going to get shit for this, but I can't say that.
You sure can't.
Sorry. I'm probably going to get flack for this, but I want to say it that a lot of people give Nicki Minaj so much, but when I read this, I'm like, dang, I wonder how much she went through herself that she may be sometimes, according to other people, repeating to other people, because it was just what she had to go through to break through the industry, because Eve was very aware of it, but how many women weren't as aware of Eve? I
mean, that was honest, but I don't recall Eve ever being the only one. Like when Eve came along, there was quite a few, rap chicks still going. Kim, Foxy, Trina, The Brat. Nicki was the only one when she came along, and that's why the gap between Nicki and Eve is so wide. I
think she was talking on the set of Barbershop when she walked on the set of Barbershop. That's what she was talking about.
Go ahead.
But Eve was talking from a music perspective. But
no, I think she was talking about from the movie.
I think
she was talking about came on the set. I thought Eve was talking about when she came on set. That was the question.
I thought she was talking about the music.
No, I thought she was talking about Barbershop when she was doing Barbershop and Nicki came on as an actress in Barbershop.
Because she talks about coming onto the set and she said that she didn't even think that Eve liked her after the first day. But I think that it goes and it transcends into music and you know what I mean, all of that. Because not that even if Eve wasn't the only one, when you the hot girl, you the hot girl. Like whether it's two of y'all, three of y'all, you feel like it's just you. So you can inflict insecurities on other people, and I think people do it unconsciously sometimes.
It just feel like by the time Nicki came along, that was a whole different generation. Like Eve and Nicki was not even in the same class competing. Like I wouldn't even look at them as competing with each other.
I wouldn't either. But see, even that, you wouldn't look at them as competing, but in some instances, Eve did, So yeah, I thought that was a great public moment to have, and I'm not always down for public conversations about private things, so.
All right. Well, thank you. That's Jess with the Mess with Lauren LaRosa. Charlamagne, who you giving that donkey to? Man,
4 after the hour. Let's talk about why women are just crazy. There's just no other way to put this. This is insane, okay? And I think that most women will agree once they hear me tell this story. There's a young lady named Melody Sasser. She needs to come to the front of the congregation. We'd like to have a word with her.
All right. We'll get into that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.